Hey all, it's a crazy old man here. Recently, Tectone put out a new video around a lot of the controversy that he's been involved in. Now, I know there are a couple other content creators who put out videos as well, but they were targeting more specific problems with the Genshin community. Both Atsu and MTash put out videos, which I've also watched. But I think it's no question that Tectone himself is pretty much involved in almost all the controversies and drama in the Genshin community. So I decided to do a reaction to his video about the controversies in the Genshin community. Now, after watching Tectone's video, I contemplated for a very long time as to whether or not I should even make a reaction video. The reason why I spent so much time contemplating was because I don't really have a lot of influence as a content creator in the Genshin Impact community right now. But a lot of the controversies being surfaced right now in the Genshin community signifies a trend with the greater political landscape of the new generation. So from that perspective, I think it is important to start talking about these things, and hopefully we can create a more reasonable and intellectual new generation of young people to lead the world. I neither support nor hate Tectone just because he is Tectone, but I would judge everything Tectone says based on my own personal experiences and values. My suspicion is that my reaction to Tectone's video will receive these two types of responses. One response may be that, oh, I'm doing this purely just to get clout. And I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't be happy to receive more exposure from my reaction, but that is not my intention. The second response I may receive is from groups of people directly opposing Tectone and calling me out for supporting someone like this person. But like I said, I will judge everything Tectone says based on my own experiences and values, and all my reactions will be from a neutral perspective in that sense. To make sure that I'm not missing any context around the making of Tectone's video, I've also watched his entire Twitch stream during which the video was made, just so I don't fall into the same trap of missing context around the conversation. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it.
How do you think people think about the Genshin community? Outside of the Genshin community, what do you think people think of us?
Well, I have personal experience with that. My roommates think it's for a bunch of pedophiles and rapists.
Now that's not good, obviously. That's obviously not good. Are you
I haven't had anybody tell me that, but that's a pretty bad start to the video already.
familiar with this? Breath of the Wild pedophile edition?
What the fuck?
There was a post on YouTube this morning about Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
And it was saying Breath of the Wild players, and they enjoyed women. Genshin Impact players, and that they like children. So, just for anybody who doesn't know, this is what people think of the Genshin community outside of the Genshin community. I would say this is pretty much a common knowledge that Genshin Impact community is one of the most hated communities.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know this until I watched this video, but that's probably because I've been playing Genshin for over a year without really being involved in the community, aside from watching YouTube videos. So to me, it is surprising to learn.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Because it has, and let me tell you why. Because there's so much forced political correctness and toxic positivity that nobody can say anything in here. And people outside of the community looking in know how many hypersensitive fucking idiots there are in this community. And they just want to shit on us. Would you agree with that or would you not?
I know that Tectone is trying to find a term to summarize everything he's been seeing, but I would avoid using the term political correctness because that term itself, interestingly, is politically correct. And it doesn't bring a lot of value to the discussion because it actually can mean different things to different groups of people. And interestingly, if you search up on Wikipedia about the origins of this term, it was originally used by liberals, many years ago to self-criticize any sort of inflexibility towards political discussion. So I think that in order to have a meaningful discussion about the actual problems within a community, we need to avoid terms that try to generalize everything we're seeing, such as political correctness. With regards to the sensitivity aspect of the community, I do think that there is value in being aware of the fact that things you say can result in negative reactions by certain groups of people compared to others within a community, because everybody is different, right? The problems I've personally encountered within a community recently were that people would say that certain things are problematic without providing objective reasoning as to why they are problematic. And I think that's also something we need to avoid as well for any sort of meaningful discussion.
Yeah. I'd also say that there's a bunch of sensitive motherfuckers. They get their feelings hurt really easily.
And it actually fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I want everybody to watch this video. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to make this like a joke.
This is no fault of Tectone himself, but I'm sure there are viewers who won't take what he's saying seriously right now because, in Tectone's own words, they like to come and watch an angry fat white man, which is really unfortunate. I would love to find a clip of Tectone saying that himself, but I think that was a while ago and I don't know if I could dig it up anymore.
Because like, it's not. It's really not. It actually makes me really angry. Because in case you guys don't know, like, this is like my favorite game. And obviously, and Goose, you know this, I know this, everybody here knows this. This is something that I haven't wanted to, and come closer to the microphone. This is something that I've been battling with since the beginning, which is like, there's so much controversy.
Yep, I've seen all the YouTube videos from a year ago.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason. And the worst thing is this pick and choose fucking mentality. Do you get what I'm talking about, pick and choose, or no?
Are you talking about like they pick and choose who they want to fuck?
Good one, Goose.
Not.
Yes, and also kind of no.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean by pick and choose is that, for example, these people in this community say, oh no, it's okay for this guy to say that, but this guy saying the exact same thing, he can't say that. Let me tell you an exact.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
An exact example. So I said Loli twice a year and 4 months ago. By the way, that's still being brought up too today, by the way.
Okay, let's stop here. This controversy around the word Loli is one that I'm really pissed off about. The reason is because we have people intentionally or unintentionally misappropriating the word Loli and attempting to associate it with something negative, when really it's a very neutral word. The word itself is just used to describe a character who looks childlike. It is nothing different from using the word chair to describe a chair. Now, people can have ill intention towards characters that can be described by this word, but the word itself does not have any negative meaning. To the people who initiated this nonsense, please stop creating unnecessary controversy. And to the people who continue to spread this without doing their own research, please learn to do some fact checking.
On TikTok.
About how I'm supposed to be like a horrible person. And all these Genshin stands say that. Yet they play a game where in the game's code, they call Klee, Chi-Chi, and Diana's body type Loli.
I don't think the real problem is a double standard here. I think the real problem is that we have idiots who don't know what the word Loli actually means.
They put it in the coding.
They put it in the code. They say these are Loli bodies. So it's crazy how people play this fucking game and say, we know when Genshin Impact does it, it's fine. But when this guy does it, it's different. It's the same bullshit. It's the same. True, I saw that. Yeah, I know, chat. I know. It's a real fucking thing. That can't be true. Look it up. Look it up. You can check my Twitter if you like.
And here is an example of someone who can't do their own research before saying something.
It's also fucking crazy how you remember how there was a while back, and I want to bring reference to this because it was a very heartwarming community. It was a very heartwarming community moment. Tenha, one of my closest Genshin Impact content creator friends, he was a victim of racism. And almost every single content creator came out to support him. And that was one of the great, and I'm sure everybody here remembers that.
Yep, I remember that.
I'm sure everybody here remembers that. It was one of the most beautiful fucking things ever. Everybody had his back. Everybody had this back. Out of curiosity, you ever looked looked me up on TikTok, Twitter, or anywhere?
Mostly bad things.
Like what?
Like a whole ass community or a whole ass, I guess you could call it a gang of people shitting on you about how racist or homophobic or fucking lesbophobic or who the fuck knows. They're coming up with 4 million definitions now about it on Twitter.
And what's the main reason they think that I'm all that?
Because you're white.
I literally saw my first TikTok post the other day, slandering Tectone. And one of the reasons was that he's white. I mean, this is actual racism. It doesn't matter if you believe in white privilege or not. Providing a reason that Tectone is a horrible person just because he's white, that is legitimate racism right there.
And fat and bald.
Bro, chat, if y'all have ever looked up Tectone anywhere, do you know how often I get shit on for just being white?
And
like dead ass.
like, I'm gonna be completely honest.
And now here's the thing. People were so comfortable with that they'll still put Keck W because literally nobody fucking cares.
I'm not even gonna lie, like, you're not even that fat. So I don't know why they're fucking calling you that in the first place.
And no, that's okay. Being called fat, I can do something about that.
Yeah, but like,
I can change that.
still, that shouldn't be a reason.
No, I agree. Being bald, I can wear a wig. What the fuck you want me to do because I'm white?
If anything, they're being racist.
Yep, you got it, Goose.
Because we're white. I understand that we've had it nice a very long time, but still, you're gonna judge somebody on how they look. That's literally the definition of racism.
Have you seen a...
Okay, I hate being pedantic, but when you say literary definition, you gotta be a little careful, because that's not literally the definition of racism. But I know what you mean, Goose.
single person call out anybody for that shit?
No. No.
It actually sucks. And it blows because I've become numb to it. Literally, I've become fucking numb to it. Like, Jesus Christ, the amount of white hate in this community is fucking ridiculous.
Like they talk about you or me being racist, but then they hate on white people. I understand the narrative is not white people.
Like, literally, when somebody says this dude's racist because he's white, that's racist. But literally, like, here's my problem, and let me know if you can fucking agree with this. You know how fucking bitter I am in this community?
Why?
How these people who try to get me to apologize are from these same fucking... I mean, like, there's a big difference. And once again, I want to say this. I do apologize for comparing Yunjin's singing to a fire truck.
I wonder if Tectone is apologizing because he felt it was actually racist or he was just being insensitive. To be clear, metaphorically comparing Yunjin's singing to a fire truck siren is not racist. If anything, it's insensitive to his viewers who appreciate Chinese opera, but it is no way racist at its core. A racist statement would be something like, Yunjin's singing sucks because it is Chinese. Because this statement rejects the art form purely because of its cultural background. We should avoid saying that statements are racist when they aren't, because they take away legitimacy from the word racism itself. And Tectone actually made a good point in a prior video that taking power away from the word racism eventually causes us to feel numb to any use of it, which in the long term is a bad thing for all of society. And to those of you who think that the statement is racist just because Chinese opera is cultural, let me give you a counterexample. The word Loli is derived from the longer word Lolita, which is deeply ingrained in both Russian American and Japanese culture, because the word Lolita originated from a Russian American novel, and Lolita culture is prevalent in many aspects of Japanese culture. So in that sense, if you shit on the word loli, you're shitting on the word Lolita, and therefore you are racist to at least American and Japanese people.
Okay? Now, here's the reason why I'm sorry. I didn't realize how important it was to that culture. But here's the reason why I didn't know. Because jazz and American football are also are very important to America, and yet I shit on that all the fucking time, and nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
Literally, jazz sucks dick. American football, if you...
Dude, fuck you, Tectone, and your shitty taste in music. Fight me, bro.
like that, you're a fucking moron.
Okay, I do agree about American football though, so we're good.
But I don't know when it's okay to make fun of something or not. Like, what is allowed to be made fun of or not? It's incredibly hard to fucking know.
Do you think it might be this? Since you're white, making fun of a American culture, they don't fucking care. But as soon as you say something about another culture, they fucking are on that immediately. But if someone else that is not white or American makes fun of an American culture, fucking cares. Like, compared to what their standpoints are.
I would agree.
Although that statement is true from a very general sense, I think in reality, there's more nuance to it. Taking the Chinese opera example again, not all Chinese people actually care that much about the art form, from my experience anyways. And I would think that only people with a deep connection to Chinese opera would feel offended by any negative comments towards it. Another similar example that I can think of would be the use of the N-word among the African American people. I believe the older generation of African Americans would feel a much deeper connection towards usage of the word and association with negative emotions. And I believe the older generation also frowns upon the younger generations for their more casual usage of that word. Oh, before we move on, I think I found Tectone's Ahegal face.
It's just really fucking hard to like actually figure out. It's in a and listen. I want to let y'all know this, like, honest question. And for real, y'all voice your opinions. If you agree or not, let me know. Like, it's really fucking hard to know like what is happening. There's like the forced political correctness and once again toxic positivity.
Again, I think the use of the term political correctness here is trying to generalize too many nuances. But I think the term toxic positivity does point out a problem with the community, which is that it is unreceptive to any sort of negative feedback. And it is very important to be realistic and surface both the good and bad aspects of everything so that we can have an open discussion and improve things overall for everybody.
Because let's be real, you see it fucking everywhere. It's literally this. Here's something you've never seen before. If you don't accept it and call it great immediately, then you're a toxic piece of shit.
The really annoying thing was, too, that they forced their opinions about the Chinese opera on everybody. Like, if you didn't like it, fuck you. I'm fucking sorry.
It's just like, how were we supposed to know that? I literally don't get it.
Have you been to China?
No.
I haven't either.
That was the first time I ever heard. And you know the worst thing is?
Huh.
They clipped the part where I said it sounded like a fire truck. But they didn't clip the part where I said, wow, it sounds fucking awesome at the end of Yunjin singing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this action was intentional, but if it was, it's definitely malicious.
Because it was.
That little scene where she was singing?
Yeah.
That was sick.
It was fucking beautiful.
But the part that she was in the intro, where she was like introducing herself on the live stream, that sucked.
And in my opinion, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
In saying, I didn't like this song, and sure, making fun of it. Keyword fun. Do you really think there was that much harm out of calling something a fire truck? Literally. Like, if there's it'd be like this. Oh, wow, you sung jazz. Wow, you're an ugly, stupid piece of shit and everything that you stand for is fucking idiotic. Yeah. Versus, hey, your jazz singing sounded like me taking a shit.
I'm not sure what Tectone's intention was with this comparison, but I feel like a better comparison would be your jazz sounds like shit versus jazz is shit because it's American. In relation to the Yunjin controversy anyways.
Or, hey, your jazz singing sounded like a race car.
Yeah.
There's a big fucking difference. But people see this shit. You know what my friends told me? They said, if you're hated by the Genshin community, you're doing something right.
Yikes.
And that's embarrassing.
That actually makes sense, too.
Yes, no, dude, when I joined OTK, my dream org, they said, if you're hated by that community, if you're hated by the Gotcha community, you're doing something right. Because nobody fucking likes us. Literally, nobody likes us. It's just a fact. And it's embarrassing. Like literally. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not gonna change myself to fit in with the community.
Put this if you want. I don't fucking care. Put me on Twitter if you like. I feel like 90% of the community is a bunch of soft and sensitive motherfuckers.
I would agree.
That do not use their fucking brains, but think for emotions.
Okay. This is me roasting in glass. I don't think it's 90%. I think it's more like 10%. But that 10% is so fucking loud that is all you see. Because let me tell you why.
Yeah, I'd believe that, because this type of problem is prevalent in real life politics too, where a small group of extremists give the entire community a bad name.
Why I know it's that. Because, for example, I put out a video where I addressed the out of context clips before. And by the way, I actually found context for everything. You know, to be honest, people can believe what they want. Literally just go look it up. I don't delete any videos. I don't hide any videos. Don't you think if the videos would paint me to look bad that I would delete them? Don't you think if the clips were bad, I would delete them? Why is nobody bringing that up? Like, literally, if you just go look at the whole fucking thing, there's a reason why it's like, start clip, end clip. Nothing before. It's like, why is that happening?
I know that Tectone's being serious, but his hand gestures and the way he was talking about this is too funny.
Like, because I put out a new video. The moment anybody would put a negative comment, within like 15 seconds, and you have to look for these, within like 15 seconds, they would have like 6 upvotes. They would be posted, I would see it, refresh, 6 upvotes. It's literally like a gang of mongrels.
And I feel like a lot of them don't speak out, but they wait for somebody to speak out, and then they're like, "Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember this. Oh, and just make up. It's a whole fucking like imaginary circle after.
You know the worst thing is? People are gonna dismiss this video because we're both white.
I sure hope that being white wouldn't be the reason. And at the same time, I do wonder, would there be a difference if a different white content creator, such as MTash, also delivered the same message? Would the community be more receptive of a different content creators? In which case, maybe there's something else polarizing about Tectone, such as his more aggressive personality. Which, don't get me wrong, is very good to have as an entertainer, but it may not be as effective when trying to be accepted by a broader audience.
At least I'm not bald. Can't put that on me. Hey.
I don't know, man. It's really fucking cringe.
Yeah.
The one thing I've noticed is that Tectone uses the word cringe a lot whenever he encounters something he doesn't agree with, even if the disagreement could be constructive feedback. In which case, I wonder if this habit also contributes to some of the polarization. Because, at least for me, it gives me a bit of a feeling that Tectone will always reject all criticism, even if it's constructive.
Because, like, I'll be real, like, I wish I didn't have to cover this shit. And you know this, because you live with me off stream. I hate covering this shit. It fucking sucks. But, like, it's thrown at me non-fucking stop. And the pick and choose mentality, and I'm gonna say this right fucking now, and this can go on record. Either all of it's okay, or none of it is. And what I mean by that is, if I can shit talk one thing in the game and it's fine, I can shit talk everything.
Okay, this is a tough one. I know Tectone's really just trying to talk about the double standards, but I think his generalized statement needs to be thought through a bit more. For example, hypothetically, if Tectone's entire community has a very deep connection with Chinese opera, and Tectone then shit talks Chinese opera without apology, would he actually expect that there to be no consequences? I mean, unless his community was a whole bunch of masochists, or just blindly following Tectone, I would think that at least some of them would be offended and may no longer support Tectone, because his stance would be that it would be fine to shit talk Chinese opera even though his entire community has very strong feelings towards it. And Tectone himself should know this, because he has made a comment in one of his own videos before that freedom of speech does not grant you freedom of consequence. Of course, Tectone can always just say that, well, I never wanted those sensitive pansies in my community anyways, but I would think that if he wanted to keep growing his community, at some point he's going to run into the problem that by shit-talking anything he wants, he'll likely offend some population of his community and cause them to leave. But I guess it's worked out for him so far, so only time will tell.
We don't get to give things special privilege. Either all of it's okay or none of it is. This double standards bullshit, it's impossible to fucking navigate.
I would definitely agree that it is difficult to navigate, especially for someone like Tectone with the outreach he has in the Genshin community. And one thing I would add is that as somebody who has been offended by something anybody has said, whether it's Tectone or another content creator or another public figure in real life, I wouldn't be so quick to judge the person based on the limited pieces of information you have at the moment. I've done this myself before, and I always have to keep myself in check.
It is. You know Steve Harvey? Steve Harvey quit stand-up comedy today, by the way, today.
Like announced it today.
Announced it today because he's too afraid to go back because the forced political correctness of this nature, because cancel culture killed comedy.
Okay, this is another really controversial topic. I think we can all agree that cancel culture in its form right now is just a form of public shaming. And even though sometimes public shaming has its place because it's the only way for one group to establish a balance of power versus another group. Like for example, the Me Too movement. We should always ask ourselves whether the act of public shaming the person is an appropriate reaction to what the person has actually done, especially if the outrage was generated by intentional slander. Based on my current understanding about the controversy surrounding Tectone, I don't believe the public shaming is warranted. To relate this back to Tectone's comment about stand-up comedy, in all forms of comedy, and especially stand-up comedy, the jokes are only effective if the audience can relate to them in some way. And from my experience, stand-up comedy is actually a way for the comedian to either joke about their own misfortunes or the misfortunes of their community. And the important point here is that if you are not within a community, you may not be able to relate to those jokes. But just because that's true doesn't mean that you yourself should feel outraged. The question to ask is, does your intended audience feel outraged by what you said? Of course, there are also exceptions to this. For example, if a person intentionally evokes their community to inflict harm on another community, then I think an appropriate response will be quite different. But even then, it's hard to know if just the act of attempting to cancel will actually lead to positive change in the long term. Or is it really just a form of authoritarianism and trying to establish dominance by pushing your own opinions onto the rest of society? One final point I would like to add is that the act of laughing at oneself and not taking everything too seriously is a therapeutic experience and can be very beneficial for a person's mental well-being. And reducing society's ability to utilize this therapeutic mechanism will also reduce society's ability to cope with tragedy.
Because everybody has to get offended for people who aren't even offended. It's like, imagine how fucking stupid it would look. How stupid I would look if somebody over there said, hey, Goose, you got a small dick. And you're sitting there laughing because they're your homie. And I'm like, hey, motherfucker, that's my friend. I swear to God. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I have you. I have your back. All right, you better get out of here. It's like, dude, it's so fucking cringe.
I really think Tectone needs to stop using the word cringe to describe everything.
Great idea. People are grown men and or women, and they can probably take care of themselves.
I think this is true on a small scale interpersonal level, but on a larger scale, I think the dynamics are very different.
My opinion.
You know what I think the biggest reason is for all this shit? You would agree that a lot of the content creators don't, even if they don't, sometimes they don't feel like this in first place. They don't speak their mind, or they do. They just don't like call somebody out. So say someone says some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Me or you are gonna be like, you're fucking stupid, you're wrong, fuck you. Or like we're gonna speak our minds of like what we're thinking, and like we're not gonna bullshit the internet. A lot of these people like to be not necessarily manipulative, but like, you know, oh, let me agree with the crowd, or let me like woo the crowd so they'll like me more, and they'll come to me instead of us two.
Dude, you can literally see it in so many Twitch streams. It's like, okay, this new thing showed up. What does Twitch chat think? Oh, they like it? I like it too. Oh, wait, They don't like it? Oh, I don't like this.
For those who don't know, this is called groupthink. It is extremely detrimental to a democratic society and can lead to atrocities such as the Holocaust.
They're a crowd pleaser.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's literally fucking, and like the worst thing is this bullshit fucking subtweet mentality. Have you seen Twitter?
Yep.
You know people who like say, oh, these content creators are bad, but just like won't fucking say their name? Like, dude, just speak your fucking mind. Like, don't be a fucking pussy. Just say what the fuck you need to say.
Yeah, like they'll throw a shot. Like that could mean anybody. Like, oh, this content creator does this, or oh, I don't like this content creator, or I won't talk to this content creator because he's in the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And then not explain who's who.
Yeah.
The fuck are you trying to do?
Fucking 5th grade middle school mentality, man.
I don't really like how Tectone's classifying this as being immature, and even though I personally hate having to deal with it, the politics of the adult world are significantly more complex and nuanced than this.
Fucking high school drama ass fucking gossip girls. So fucking stupid.
It just sucks because I feel helpless, man.
Yeah.
Because like I actually love this community, but like y'all have to realize people think that we're fucking idiots. They do. It's the God honest truth. Bro, you cannot tell me you have not hesitated to tell somebody that you love this game.
To be fair, I haven't, but I also don't really care what others think about it.
You cannot tell me you have not hesitated and hid this game while you were in public. It sucks because the game is actually good. And have you seen what people say the number one thing to do is if you're going to play the game?
What?
Avoid the fucking community at all cost.
Well, I guess ignorance was really bliss for me this time.
I don't blame them.
How many times have you seen that?
A lot.
A fucking lot. A fucking lot.
Which makes it so that one like get into the game won't watch content.
Yeah.
Or like give any of us time of day because they're like, oh, the community's all shit.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
And I hope people who maybe you've watched this video for the first time, I hope y'all know that it's really not like that. And I can speak for myself and Goose and other great Twitch streamers like I don't know, Mafuyu, and I don't want to name drop because if I don't name drop everybody, then people are gonna get their feelings hurt.
Dude, I'm so hurt. Joking. I applaud Tectone's political correctness here.
There are a lot of good streamers that have their own community and don't just rely on Genshin for everything. Because there are content creators in this game where like, if they don't post Genshin, if they don't talk about Genshin, nobody gives a fuck. Like literally, I guarantee there's at least like 30% of content creators. If they type in the words Genshin Impact, it'll get more likes than, hey, just had a horrible run out of the hospital, my dog died.
Yep.
Because nobody fucking gives a fuck about them.
They literally go on Twitter right now, post, goddamn Shinha's hot.
Yeah.
And then you can post a Twitter tweet tomorrow like, hey, got this new TV for my house. Looks awesome.
Just got married.
Yeah.
Nobody
Just
cares.
proposed.
Literally. And so people are so forced to pander to this community. People stream Genshin. They stream Genshin, they get like 5, 6K. They go to a different fucking game. What's everybody playing?
Apex.
They go to Apex, they drop down to like fucking 1.3.
I'm not trying to cause more drama between these two, but I've definitely seen this happen with Emiosity streams.
And so there's so many people who know they just have to pander and pander and pander and pander and pander, which is forcing this fucking echo chamber of fucking positivity. These people are like, oh, if I don't fucking say what everybody wants, I'm gonna fucking die.
To be fair, I think Tectone is in a very privileged position to be able to say whatever he wants and still retain his community. A lot of other content creators are just trying to make a living, so I can definitely understand their hesitation.
Yep.
And so the community is just going to get worse and worse and worse until people fucking grow a goddamn backbone and speak their fucking mind. Just speak your fucking mind.
I definitely agree that it's important for people with influence within a community to call out unhealthy behavior before it gets out of control. Well, I don't know if my response will help, but I hope it does.
It is insane. It's this fake wholesomeness, once again, toxic positivity bullshit.
They're too scared to start beef or upset anybody.
And I would actually like that. there's this whole phrase going to be, oh, problematic. He's very problematic. Because why?
Speak your mind.
Because
Which is the worst part about it?
I would just like this community to like get its fucking act together. And it's ridiculous because I have to say that. It's ridiculous. Because for these fucking people they put on a pedestal, they don't say shit.
I wonder why Tectone feels that it's ridiculous that he has to say it, since he does have a lot of influence in the community. But I do wish that others would come out as well if they feel that something is wrong.
But I'm gonna get more shit for this.
Yeah.
And like everything that I'm saying, you can literally look up right now. Go for yourself. Go look for yourself what people think of us. Because here it fucking is, man. Do you know how many likes this image got on YouTube today? In 7 hours. 48,000 likes. Oh, yeah, 1.7 million likes on Facebook.
Wow, what the fuck, man?
1.7 million likes on Facebook.
Makes you feel bad for playing the game.
It does, because like if we would just stop being fucking pussies, this game is actually really good. I would like to apologize if when I talk about a character being hot, if that offends you.
Maybe I'm missing context here, but I don't really understand why that's at all offensive. Are people trying to deny that sexual attraction exists?
I'm sorry. The game is actually really fucking good. Like literally, if something doesn't change, and if I get shit for this, I don't care. But this, you know the worst thing is? Here's another thing. This community needs to fucking change. It's about, reminds me of the M-Tash video. Maybe I'll steal his thumbnail for this video. M-Tash made a video about there are people who are so desperate, so low-life scum. This has happened to me too. People had told him, DM'd him, as well as myself, saying, hey, my son has cancer. Can you please go on his account and get him a Ganyu? Because that's his dying wish.
Okay. To the people who are actually doing this, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? Aside from it probably being just fraud, imagine you are on the street and some person wants money from you and claim that they have a disease that they don't have. How would you feel? And I know that MTACH has already said this, but if you have a terminal illness to worry about, I think the last thing on your mind would be to get a fictional character from a game.
That's how fucked up this shit is. And this, I want to make this very clear. This is not funny. This shit is not funny. But this community is so fucked, it's outrageous. Fragmented, pandering, circle jerking, toxic positivity, forced political correctness bullshit. It is out fucking rageous. It's like when people say anything they want, well, it's not a joke because I didn't laugh.
I think we've already talked about this, but please don't take every joke personally. At the same time, content creators need to understand their audience as well.
And then you look at Twitch chat and they're losing their shit because one dude on TikTok didn't like it. Well, I didn't laugh, so it's not funny. Sorry. Here's the demographics. Do you know what they are?
Yep, not every joke is meant for everybody.
Holy shit. You had the same reaction, which by the way, I do like Yunjin singing. I'm gonna upload my reaction from like 2 weeks ago to the Archon Quest. You had a similar reaction to what I did.
Yeah.
Everybody talked about mine. How many people talked about yours?
3,
Yeah.
3, 4 people.
And you have a big size channel.
Yeah.
Wanna know why? You know why they talked about mine.
Yeah.
What's that?
Clout chaser.
That's the video, y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. Something needs to change, boys. Because it's fucking pathetic. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Peace.
Alright, so that's the whole video. I decided to not skip any part of the original video because I wanted to keep as much context as possible. There are 2 more thoughts I'd like to talk about before we end this video. The first one is that I think one of the reasons Tectone's personality may be so polarizing is that very few people can relate to why he has a personality like his. I watched Tectone's talk with Dr. K on YouTube before, which actually revealed quite a lot about Tectone's childhood when he was growing up. And I can say that it definitely wasn't great from what Tectone was describing. And I think, or at least hope, that the majority of people did not have a childhood as messed up as Tectone's. And because of that, I think most people have a difficult time relating to why Tectone is the way he is. And in contrast, my second thought is that even though Tectone's personality has generated a lot of controversy for himself within the Genshin community, I believe his personality has been a net positive for him in terms of his growth as a content creator. And I think the controversies themselves have also fueled his growth as well. So I think his personality and the controversies surrounding it are really a double-edged sword for Tectone. Okay, that's all I have to say for now. If you stuck around until this point in my video, I really appreciate it, and I doubly appreciate it if you didn't fall asleep, because I know my voice is a bit monotone, but I can't do anything about that right now. How do you feel about my reaction to Tectone's video? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. As well, please give this video a like if you enjoyed my insight. Alright, that's all for today. This is A Crazy Old Man, and I will catch you in the next one. Oh, and Tectone, if you happen to watch this, hit me up if you want to chat about what I said. Also, send me your best futa.